What's going on, everybody? Nick here in rainy Southern California. I'm in Los Angeles. It's not supposed to rain in Southern California, but it definitely is this weekend. I'm on the back end of the Steve Hackett tour, and we just finished 2 shows at the Orpheum Theater just down the street, a couple blocks from here, and they were fabulous, celebrating the music of The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, among other Steve Hackett songs. It was killer stuff. Just yesterday, the 3rd single from my tribute to The Lamb, Rewiring Genesis, the song Counting Out Time, was released. You can hear that on Spotify or wherever you listen to music. There's 3 singles out. The full record comes out on the 28th of this month. But that's not why I'm making this post. You know, life can be a crazy chain of events. One little thing can happen to you and the whole trajectory of your life, trajectory. Can I say that? Am I saying that word correctly? The whole focus of your life can totally change from that one little thing happening to you. Well, that building just behind me, see the 3 arches right there? That's the Variety Arts Center, or they call it the Variety Arts Theater. It's the same building. Well, back in 1994, 30 years ago, there was a festival called Progfest. And in that building, I played with Kevin Gilbert, and we played The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. And from that one gig, my whole life changed. I randomly met Kevin at a local ski resort called Mountain High. I was playing in the cover band there, and Kevin knew the guys in the band, so he came. He sat in with the band. We talked about our love of Genesis. I told him Phil Collins was my favorite drummer and all that kind of stuff. I was a huge fan of Kevin's from his project Toy Matinee. If you've never heard Toy Matinee, you got to check it out because it's still one of the great records of all time. Kevin and I exchanged phone numbers, and I tried to keep in touch with him following us meeting at the ski resort, and never really heard back until it was time, about 8 months later, for him to put a band together for Progfest. He wanted to play The Lamb because it was the 20th anniversary of the record at that time. Well, he did call me, and I immediately said yes, of course. And I showed up to his studio, which was not far from my house, and I met Stan Cody and Dan Hancock and Dave Kersner. And we only had a couple days of rehearsal, and I nailed it. I knew the music inside and out, just like I do today. So, not that it was easy, but, you know, I knew the songs. And we came to the Variety Arts Center, just behind me, and played the show. And from that moment on, my whole career changed. From there, Kevin asked me to be in his band Thud, and we promoted his band along with Dave Kersner, and did a lot of gigs and traveled around and promoted that record. And then I started recording a lot with Kevin at his studio. We worked on his rock opera Shaming of the True. Let's see. From there, I met Brian McLeod. Brian McLeod played with Kevin on a lot of projects, and Brian is one of the great drummers in the world. Fabulous guy, one of the greatest drummers ever. Well, Brian was in Tears for Fears, did not want to go on the tour for Raul and the Kings of Spain, recommended me, and then all of a sudden I was the drummer in Tears for Fears, and I held that gig for 15 years. From there, I was on the road with Tears for Fears in London, and Kevin reached out to me in 1996 or so, told me that Phil Collins quit Genesis and they might be having auditions and that I should go find the management office and try to get an audition, and I did that, and I got the gig, and now I've recorded on Calling All Stations. Crazy stuff. Even my band Spock Spirit at the time, Kevin had a part in because he mastered our first record, The Light, and then mixed the first half of Beware of Darkness before he sadly passed away. So, what I'm saying is that random meeting at Mountain High turned into a gig here at the Variety Arts Center, which is just behind me, to changing my whole life. And now I'm here with Steve Hackett, 30 some odd years later, playing The Lamb and just having a great time. So it's crazy how things happen. And The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway seems to be a part of so many things in my life. And I'm thankful. So I guess my point is if one of those little chance happenings happens to you, welcome it, relish it, and maybe something great will happen because of it. So that's my thought for today. I'm going to get out of the rain now. We're going to make our way to San Diego and finish off this tour. Thank you so much for hanging out and listening to me talk, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you. All the best. We'll see you again soon. Cheers.